Let's be honest, the AI career race is moving at a wild pace. It feels like in just 3 short years, the entire profession of working with AI has completely reinvented itself over and over again. If you feel like you're constantly playing catch up, you are definitely not alone. So in this explainer, we're going to break down this evolution to help you see where we've been, where we are right now, and most importantly, what actually matters for your career going forward.
Just let that sink in for a second. In less time than it takes to get a master's degree, the fundamental definition of an AI professional has been completely upended. We're talking about a profession that is evolving faster than anything we've ever seen before. It's not just changing, it's reinventing itself in real time, right before our eyes.
Okay, so here's the key thing to wrap your head around. Since 2023, this job has gone through 3 totally distinct phases. And with each new phase, the skills from the last one, well, they become less valuable. If you're not paying attention to this pattern, you risk pouring your time and energy into learning skills that are already on their way out. By understanding these phases, you'll know what to focus on now, and maybe even more importantly, what you can safely ignore.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to walk through this whole evolution, breaking it down into 4 distinct phases. We'll start back in 2023 with the prompt poet, move through the workflow architect, land on where we are today with the AI conductor, and then we'll even take a peek at what's coming next, the strategist.
All right, let's dive into phase 1. This is the era that kicks things off, from about 2023 to early 2024. And it's the phase that a lot of people still think is the most critical skill to have in AI. But as we'll see, that's not quite right anymore.
So think back to 2023. The hottest skill around was knowing exactly how to talk to an AI to get what you wanted. It was almost like being a poet, You had to master tone, specificity, structure, all to coax a good answer out of these early models. A marketing analyst, for example, might spend their whole afternoon crafting the single perfect prompt to get ChatGPT to summarize a competitor's website. But here's the thing. Within about 18 months, that skill became way less special because the AIs themselves got so much smarter at understanding just plain English.
Okay, so that was phase 1. Now let's move on to the next step in the evolution, which happened between mid-2024 and mid-2025. This is where things started getting a lot more complex and, frankly, a lot more powerful.
In this second phase, it wasn't just about one perfect prompt anymore. The focus shifted to connecting different AI tasks together into a chain to automate an entire process. So our marketing analyst, they're no longer writing prompts by hand. Instead, they're building a system. Step 1 automatically scrapes the competitor's website. Step 2 feeds that text to an AI to summarize it. And Step 3 drops that summary neatly into a report. Now, this is still a super useful skill, but now we're seeing AI agents that can actually build these workflows for you, which means this too is becoming less of a specialized role.
And this slide right here perfectly captures that shift. Look at the difference. In phase 1, you are the doer. You're in the trenches, carefully crafting every single request. But in phase 2, you become the designer. You're the one building the machine that does the work. You're not interacting directly anymore. You're the architect of the whole system.
And that brings us to today, right now. This is the current phase, running from about mid-2025 through the present. So pay close attention, because this is where you should be focusing all of your learning efforts if you want to stay ahead of the curve.
Today, the most valuable skill isn't writing the prompt or even designing the workflow. It's about orchestrating a team of specialized AI agents. Seriously, think of yourself as a manager. Our marketing analyst isn't designing the workflow anymore. They're just giving a high-level command, prepare a weekly competitive analysis report. And their job is to supervise the team. The researcher agent, the data analyst agent, the writer agent, making sure their work fits together and stepping in for quality control. You've basically been promoted from a worker or an engineer to a manager of AIs. And this, right here, illustrates the biggest leap yet. Your value is no longer in the technical setup, in the nuts and bolts. It's in your uniquely human judgment. It's about knowing when to trust the autonomous system to do its thing, and crucially, knowing when it's about to make a mistake and you need to step in and say, whoa, hold on. Your skill has officially moved from tactical design to high-level supervision.
So here's a really important thing to understand. Those old skills, prompting, workflow design, they didn't just disappear, not at all. A great AI conductor today still needs to know how to write a good prompt and understand how a workflow is built. But those skills have become table stakes. They're the bare minimum you need just to sit down and play the game at this new, higher level. Now, if we peek just over the horizon, maybe to late 2026, we can see a fourth phase starting to emerge. In this future, your role is probably going to shift again. You won't just be managing individual agents, you'll be setting the big picture strategic goals for entire autonomous teams of AIs that manage themselves. You'll be moving even further away from the day-to-day grind and becoming the person who just sets the destination. Okay, so if all these specific technical skills have a shelf life of like 18 months, what's the point? How do you possibly build a durable, long-term career in this field? Well, the secret is to stop chasing the skills that expire and start focusing on the things that don't change.
The answer is in what we call your durable meta skills. These are the timeless human abilities that technology can't replicate. We're talking about your critical judgment, your ability to communicate clearly, your deep understanding of context, even your creative taste. These are the skills that don't become obsolete. In fact, they get more and more valuable the more experience you have. If you remember just one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Stop over-investing your time in skills that are depreciating assets, like mastering one specific tool or some new prompting trick. Instead, double down on the skills that compound over time, the skills that only you, with your unique life experience, can bring to the table. That's your judgment, your context, your unique perspective. Now, if you've been in your field for a while, listen up because this should be music to your ears. You have spent your entire career honing these meta skills. Your years of experience don't make you outdated. They are your single greatest asset in the age of AI. The tools, they'll come and go, but your judgment, that is the constant. That's the one thing that knows how to use any tool effectively. All right, so that brings us to the big finish. The most important part, really. What do you do with all of this information? How do you make this actionable for your career, right now? I'm going to leave you with a challenge, a question to really think about. I want you to identify your single most durable professional skill. What are you truly great at? Is it building trust with clients? Is it navigating messy office politics? Is it seeing the big picture when everyone else is lost in the weeds? Whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself, how can you apply that unique human skill to supervising and guiding these powerful AI systems? The answer to that question, that's your personal roadmap for not just surviving, but actually thriving in the age of AI.